Okay, so once again, I'm sitting in my van. I don't know if I've done this on this channel before or not in the van. Here, this last Monday, it's now Saturday evening. Monday night, around 10:30, I actually had somebody break into my van. Now, the funny thing is, they jumped the back fence of the property, or should say, jumped one of the fences on the property. It was on the back side of one of the buildings here. Anyway, they came straight down the back side of the building and went straight to the van and started trying to get in. Went to the back hatch first and couldn't get it open. So they went with something silver in their hands, about 6 inches long, went to the driver's door, between the door and the sliding door, and did something for about, I don't know, roughly 10 seconds, and then opened the driver's side sliding door. Okay, this doesn't make sense, because I keep that door locked because I don't ever use it. And I know it was locked. I check it. And I was like, okay, because I found this on camera. I didn't know it until the next morning around 11. And anyway, I went ahead and made my usual police report. And went ahead and reported it to my insurance because the guy was trying to steal stuff. He stole a bunch of miscellaneous, nothing that can't be replaced, frustrating as it is. He even stole the faceplate off my stereo, which he was trying to get out of the dash when he turned the four-way flashers on. And that wasn't what he wanted to do. Well, it scared him, so he took off and got out of here with what he already bagged up and stuff. And anyway, I found all this out on the security cameras here. And I was like, okay, so Tuesday night I parked the van at a different property where we have a garage. And, you know, it's a fully enclosed garage, so you can't get in there without having the one of the remotes or the password for the opener that's mounted, opener keypad, should I say, that's mounted outside the doorway of the garage. So it was safe. Wednesday, I went and picked somebody up and drove them over to see their sister. I got home around 3, pulled the van in to the property, parked it, and went and closed and locked the gates. Made sure they were all closed and locked, which is how it's supposed to be. I had decided, since I hadn't... The guy didn't get the stereo, so I suspected he might come back. So I decided, since I hadn't gotten an alarm on the van yet, I was going to go ahead and park it back at the other property. I went to get in the van to leave to go do that, and as I opened the driver's door to the van, I noticed the center portion of the dash, that right there, was laying face down between the seats, where he had used the pop clips, popped those out, and let it fold down. The problem is there's 2 screws at the bottom that he didn't take out. So he couldn't get it all the way loose, so he went ahead and did that so he could unscrew the stereo, and took the rest of the stereo. The funny thing is, the first time he was here, it was 10:30 at night. The second time he came, it was 6:48 in the evening. It was still light out here. Okay? About the time it is now. And, I mean, you can see how bright it is out here. But he was brave enough to walk through the front gate that one of the tenants had left open. Or should I say unlocked, not open. And he just walked straight down to the van, once again got in, and that's when he did that. I found it out by looking at the cameras. That was Wednesday night. So I said screw it, locked the van up, and went ahead and made a new police report because he had come back. It's considered a separate action, and I had to file a second police report. Thursday, I saw my insurance claims adjuster, and because of some of the minor damage he did to the van when he was stealing the stereo, broke into the van and stole the stereo, they paid me a fair amount of money for that. But then they said, okay, and we're going to replace the stereo, but we need an invoice from a shop with the stereo price on it and the invoice for the labor to install the stereo. They couldn't cut me a check until that was done. So I went ahead and did that, and the total for the purchase of the stereo, which I could only find it on eBay, was $280 for the stereo. It was in the van when I bought it. The labor and roughly 22 of it, the total, was shop supplies. Okay, the labor, shop supplies, and the stereo combined was like $580 or something like that. And it was like, this is ridiculous how much it's going to cost. Anyway, I took the invoice to my claims adjuster, and he said he was going to get on it and see if he couldn't get it approved right away because it was Friday night. And he would go ahead and try and get me a check in the mail the beginning of next week. I don't know if that's going to happen or not. I'm waiting to see. I got to call him back Monday morning and see what he found out. The van's a bit of a mess right now because when the guy was going through everything, he was dumping bags of stuff out that I had in the back of the van, boxes of stuff that I had in the van. And I'm just totally ticked, but right now I know you probably hear a stereo in the background. That's because I took a stereo that was in my Maxima when I had that running, and I had taken it out because I was going to get rid of the car, and I decided to keep it. But I hooked up the stereo temporarily. It's the same style stereo, it's just instead of what they call a single DIN, which fits in a small hole like that, to one that's almost twice the size of that one. And anyway, couldn't put it in there, so I said, okay, fine. I'll just leave it in the faceplate for the Maxima, and you know, that way there I can just unplug it and take it in with me. No big deal. They ain't gonna be able to steal it if it's in my house. Because my house, I'm there, and we have an alarm. On top of all the cameras here. 16 cameras to be exact on the property. But yeah, it's gonna be fun. Yeah, I went ahead and bought me an alarm. This alarm is like over $300 depending on where you get it. It ranges from anywhere from just a hair over $300 all the way up to over $400, like $450, depending on where you get it. It's a Viper, two-way remote, so if the alarm goes off, it pages the remote up to a quarter mile away and tells me, hey, your alarm's going off in this area. This is what set it off. It's semi-specific. It's a very good alarm. I've seen Vipers before and dealt with them, and they're very, very good alarms actually. So my getting that one for $108, they were selling it for $128, but there was a coupon there for purchases of $100 or more, and that was over the $100, so $20 off for that. You know, I wasn't gonna complain, and I like it. I'll have it in. It won't be this week. It'll be next weekend. I may set up my GoPro and record some of it. We'll see. I've been kind of busy. I manage and maintain 3 separate apartment buildings. Well, separate properties, not apartment buildings, because one property has 2 buildings. But anyway, we're putting cameras up at all our properties. And this one here, while we have the cameras up, some of them I still got to do minor work on getting them set right, because the owner decided he wanted to put the cable and conduit 100% and put the cameras on conduit boxes to, you know, make it look cleaner. Okay, that's fine with me. I ain't got a problem with it. It just causes a little more work and cost him a lot more money. It cost him probably more than twice for materials what he would pay if he just ran it through the minimum amount of conduit. So, very frustrating. And then comes all the time associated with putting up the conduit. But I'll get into that later. I'm going to go ahead and end this video. Feel free to comment, rate, and subscribe. Thank you.